If you just looked at the stat line between the Jets and the Dolphins, you would have thought the Jets won the game handedly. They had 100 more total yards. They had about 30, 40 more passing yards. They had about 70 more rushing yards, and yards per play were 1.7 for the Jets, 5.4 for the Miami Dolphins. You would have thought that they dominated the game. But the biggest issue with this team is mistakes. Football is a game of inches, but it's also a game of mistakes. Whoever makes the least mistakes is going to win. And when you commit 13 penalties for 101 yards and you lose 3 fumbles, you're going to lose every time. I forget what the stat is on it, but 3 turnovers in a game means you lose like 85 to 90% of the time. The Dolphins scored on every single fumble that the Jets committed. Even the one that Braylon Allen fumbled on the 1-yard line, the Dolphins took it the full length of the field. So I went through the All-22 tape. And I'm just going to preface this now. I'm not going to put you through the defensive side of the tape. The Jets' defensive tape could take an hour. It is just a litany of blown coverages and missed tackles, and it would take forever to get through. I'm not ready yet to say that Aaron Glenn is a bad coach or Steve Wilks is a bad coordinator because Michael Carter II, Brandon Stevens, Andre Sisco, and Tony Adams do not belong on an NFL roster. That's the facts. It doesn't matter what scheme you call. If they're going to blow coverages and miss tackles game in and game out, it doesn't matter what the coach calls into the headset. It doesn't. Outside of Sauce Gardner, there is a cliff of talent. There is nothing outside of Sauce Gardner in the secondary. Constantly, it's just missed tackles after missed tackles after blown coverage after blown coverage. It is very easy to move the ball on this Jets defense. It's going to happen all year. The defense is going to give up at least 25 points every game, and that's going to be our life for this season until they get better players in here. It doesn't matter what you call on defense if you have players that just can't play, that are not good. It is what it is. On the offensive side of the ball, it's a different story. Tanner Engstrand called another good game. And I know everybody wants to get on Justin Fields, say he holds on to the ball too much. But the fact is that this offense is kind of easy to slow down when you bracket and double team Garrett Wilson, which happened all game. I picked out 4 specific plays that I want to show you that I think really encapsulate what's going on with the offense. So the first one here, this is the first pass play of the game. We are in 21 personnel. No, I'm sorry. We're in 12 personnel. Correct. 12 personnel. And you could say he's got to throw the ball right now because you have Garrett Wilson, you have Mason Taylor. You can't just throw the ball immediately. You got to wait for these plays to develop a little bit. And while, yes, he should be throwing the ball right now, he's got Chubb right in his face. He's not able to step into it. And eventually Membu pancakes him, and Justin is able to make something happen with his legs. If this was Tyrod playing, this is maybe a 1-yard rush, maybe a sack. But Chubb makes a good play here. Membu makes a good play too, just to keep him contained. But he can't step into the throw. He can't let it go because he's right there in his face. And he's able to thank God he's able to make something happen with his legs. Here's the next one. Watch Jeremy Ruckert at the bottom of your screen. Jeremy Ruckert completely whiffs on blocking a corner, and it blows the whole play up. If he stops him or slows him down in any capacity, you have Mason Taylor in a soft spot here, and it's an easy completion. Justin has shown that he can make this throw time in and time out. He does it later on in the game without a problem. But what the effort here? Like, what are we doing? Terrible. Justin again is able to get out of the pocket and make something happen. Here's the end zone view. Watch. And it's not like he's confused because, yeah, the cornerback comes in kind of last minute. He knows who he's got to block. He sets him up. Or at least he tries to. He gets one hand on his shoulder pad. It's just a terrible rep. And he can't throw the ball because the play hasn't developed yet. He should throw the ball like now-ish, but he's already out of the pocket. He's got to run for his life. This is another scramble. Watch the offensive line here. Membu specifically. He's got no idea what's going on. I understand he's a rookie, but let's see if I can pause this at just the second the ball is snapped. The ball snapped, and the only guy moving outside of this, besides the center, is Tippmann. It's a communication issue. They don't know the snap count. Simpson is still in his stance. Shanu's still in his stance. Membu's still in his stance. What are we doing? I can't even break down this play because the offensive line whiffs. And Fields has to run for his life again, gets a 1 yard gain out of it. Something with the snap count, I don't know. They're still in their stance. Still in their stance. Now they get up. The only person who knew what was going on was Tippmann. And by the time Membu realized what's happening, his guys already passed him. And then this is the final play I want to talk about here. This is the fumble. Now, I'm not excusing the fumble. I'm not excusing Justin Fields putting the ball on the ground here. But the ball is on the 36-yard line. That is a 53-yard field goal. There's 4 minutes in the second quarter. You're only down by 2 scores. It's 10-0. Why are we not kicking a field goal here? Volk made a beautiful field goal going into half. Why are we not kicking right here? This one is completely on Glenn. The fumble should have never happened. The play should have never happened. I can't even break down this play because it doesn't matter because it shouldn't have occurred. It should have been a field goal. That one's on the coaching staff. I'm not putting that on Justin Fields because it should have never happened. Look, there are other issues with this game that you can get into, especially the reffing. There were multiple calls on the Jets. The offensive PI on Garrett Wilson was a complete joke. The late hit that wasn't called on Mason Taylor. The phantom hit to the head when Tua slides way late into someone's legs. The offsetting penalty that should have occurred when Tippmann's helmet gets ripped off. Instead, we get called for a hold. I can get into it, but it should have never come down to that. When you fumble 3 times, you're going to lose the game. When you fumble on the 1 yard line and let the Dolphins go the length of the field and score, you're going to lose the game. When you make bonehead coaching decisions with 4 minutes to go and you're down 2 scores, you're going to lose the game. I'm talking about the play we just saw. The ball's on the 36-yard line. We should be kicking a field goal. When your special teams returner puts the ball on the ground at the start of the second half, you're giving the Dolphins a shorter field, and they already proved that they can go the length of the field multiple times in the game. Don't get me started with the bonehead fair catch on the 2 yard line. The Jets were able to move the ball and kind of get out of that situation. But Williams needs to go. Brandon Stevens needs to go. Andre Sisco needs to go. Tony Adams needs to go. Michael Carter II needs to go. There needs to be a wiping of the roster this offseason. And it's the only way Aaron Glenn is going to be able to save his job, is if they can turn over the roster next season. That's the only way. The penalties are what they are. Half of the penalties were procedural. False starts, uncovered tackles, illegal motions, things like that. Those things need to be cleaned up. And halfway through the game, Aaron Glenn is yelling at Engstrand to stop all the motions because of these issues. It's week 4 in the NFL. The offensive line and the receivers should know what they're doing. And unfortunately for the offense, when you bracket Garrett Wilson and you take him out of the play, things break down. There are other plays in this film where Justin is clearly holding on to the ball a little bit too long, but that's because his number one read is eaten up, and he's got to wait for a check down to open up before he can throw the ball. It's a bad football team. But the offense, while particularly in these plays, did not play well, in general, they were okay. The defense is the issue. The fumbles are the issue. The penalties are the issue. The mistakes are the issue. Let me know what you guys think. Honestly, if they play like this, I don't think they can play mistake-free football. I don't think it's possible. At least not the way this roster is currently constructed. And if they play like this next week, Dak Prescott is going to drop 60 on them.